Hello everyone, this is Crystal Potthoff from Prayerful Arts, and today I'm doing another viewer suggestion. This one is from Lori, and she wanted to know if I could do a basket egg. So I think this is what you're looking for. This is my first attempt. I learned a lot in doing this one, and so we're going to try two other versions of this type division, and we'll get started on that right now. Okay, to get started, what I have done is I've marked this egg off, and I'm going to draw I'm going to draw 4 lines around. I'm going to divide it into 8 sections. And this is going to be the one that I put in the dark brown dye. So I'm drawing these lines very darkly. I'm going to do the same thing on the other one, but I'm going to draw those very lightly because that's going to have the white lines, but it's going to be the same exact thing that I'm doing. So we got 8 lines all the way around the egg. Well, we will in a minute. Well, I should say we have 4 lines all the way around the egg, dividing it into 8 sections. Okay, now on this one, my first one, I did this like halfway, and I like that, but I think it's a little too much. So I'm going to go down just a little bit lower. Leave that one up there. Here's my equator. I have it marked, but I'm just going to, okay, I'm going to lightly draw my equator just so I have a frame of reference to be below it. Okay, so I'm just picking a spot. I'm just going to say, okay, right here, this is what I'm deciding to do. I'm just going to make it about like that. All right, and now I'm going to draw out another little line for this, like the rope thing that's at the top. On this one, I'm going to make it narrower than I did there. And when I go to wax it, I can always make it bigger if I want to. All right. Now, each one of these, I am going to divide in half. So there'll be 8 of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now, I'm going to stop right here and say an alternative to this, where I divided it using the 90 and the 45, you could have divided it using the 60, 90, 60. And so you would have had 6 sections. It doesn't really matter as long as you have an even number. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I am going to divide these. I'm going to make a couple more lines around it. And then when we go to wax it, it will become our basket then. Okay, let's see. I think I can get one more row. I think one more will be enough. I think it'll be too small here. if I try to do and not squeeze in another row. Oh, what the heck. Let's go for it. We'll put in one more row here. Okay. Now we're going to draw the handle, and I'll measure this out. It can be however wide you want it. What was this one? Looks like this one was about a 1/2 inch. So let's go 1/2 inch. Let's 1/2 inch. Let's make it 1 centimeter. Let's make it a little wider handle this time. So I'm just going to mark 1 centimeter going all the way around the lines, around one of the lines. And then we'll draw that. And there. All right, now we have to decide what are we going to put in our basket. If we're just going to put, I'm gonna draw. Well, let's see. No, I don't think. If you want, you can draw some lines in here, just so you know that's your handle. I'm not going to be worried about waxing these. That's just to remind me that's the handle. So we have this area, and I put this one. I put some eggs. I also put some flowers, and the flowers I put some of them going over the basket. So if you want to do that, what I did was I sketched those in now. I didn't wax them, but what it told me to do was don't wax the basket there. If you're not going to have anything hanging over it, you don't need to worry about that. And so let me do one and I'll show you. I'm not going to do it by the handle. So I'm going to draw the center of the flower, and then I'm going to draw some petals. And see how the petals go over that. And then, well, I'll go ahead and put another one here. And what should we put? Okay, I'm going to put one here, but it's going to be behind. It'll be behind the behind the handle. That's kind of hard to say. Okay, so I'll put that one kind of right about there. It's kind of behind that flower too. Okay, so that's that. And then maybe I'll put a leaf here to kind of fill in where here I just left it blue. I in hindsight I didn't really like the way that looked. So we'll put another leaf here too. Okay, now I'm going to put some eggs here. And the eggs, you don't have to draw them in if you don't want to, because they're going to get washed off if you do. But you might want to draw them in later. You're going to see that in the sequence. On the one I'm doing where it's going to be, the basket's going to be outlined in white, I'm not going to have anything hanging over it. It's just going to be eggs in there. That's all I'm going to put in there. But when you draw the eggs, you want to give them, a little bit of a roundness to it, but you don't have to have the whole thing there. And then you want them to overlap. So you can, if you can see how that one is. So there's one, and then we'll make this one kind of tall, and it goes back there. And then if I want, I could have another one right here. So that's 3 eggs. And then do we want to put some more flowers in? I guess we started to, so we'll go ahead and put some more flowers in it. That was a really big flower. And we'll put one right here. I kind of like the idea of some flowers hanging over the edge of it. And now we'll put 3 more eggs. So 1, let's see, this one could go like, that one didn't look, that one looked a little deformed. Oh my goodness, I have not been in the camera while I've been doing these. Okay, and we'll put 1 more right here. Okay, so there's 3. One of them looks a bit like a lopsided potato, but it's okay. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to plug this, and I am going to dye it in the, I'm going to use the Nubian brown, and then what I want to do, this one, I did not get the contrast that I wanted, so I'm going to do a better job on this one of getting the contrast. So I'm going to dye it Nubian brown, and then I'm going to draw out similarly on this one, but this one I'm not going to do the overlap, and I'm going to be drawing it lighter because I'm going to have the lines be white. Here we have our egg that has been dyed in the Nubian brown from Pysanky, USA. Right. So the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to wax the handle. And I know that seems odd, but this is how it makes the most sense to me. Now I'm going to use my Luba's Electric with the fine Kiska, and I have some white wax in here. So I hope this shows up well enough for you. So what we're going to do, and this will seem a little odd at first, it did to me, but maybe it won't to you. Now I don't have any of the flowers overlapping the handle. So I am just going to start, and I'm going to draw a diagonal line. And so what I'm drawing is, I'm drawing these diagonal lines, just the diagonal line. And I'm going to try to space them out about evenly, but they don't, close enough. It's not going all the way to the band that I drew that was going around the egg. It's just, but they're diagonal. And I'm keeping them all going the same direction, so they don't like switch directions halfway. And this is the direction I'm drawing mine. It doesn't really matter what direction you draw yours, as long as you draw them all the same way. And I'm back to where the handle is. Okay, now we're going to connect these, and we're going to do that with a loop that goes like that. Can you see? Kind of see that. All right, I think it's visible. You know what? Let me draw it out on paper so you can see what I did. So if this here is my band, well, that's not a good example. I'll draw it off just the side here. So I'm going to draw, let's get something you can see. So I drew lines that went like this, all the way up, all the way around. And then I came back and I connected them with something that looks like that. And I used that line that I drew right here just to kind of give me a point of reference. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, and it's going to go like that. Now this is like the bottom of it, and it's just a little loopy thing, little half circle. But in the end, it gives you the appearance of those kind of handles that are wrapped around. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm going to do that all the way around, and then we're going to come back and work on this part of it. So I have the handle drawn all the way around. Now I'm going to work on this part here. And I'm going to do the same thing and make the diagonals, but I have to pay attention to where I have leaves and flowers. So I'm just gonna do this. See, now there's a leaf, and there's a flower, and there's a flower. So I'm skipping that whole area. And there's the other flowers and leaves. So now we're going to do the same thing, and we're going to make a little loop all the way around. And now when I get to the handle part, I'm going to make the loop up into the handle part. It's kind of however it works out for you. And now the tricky thing is you have to remember where these flowers are, because when I go to wax the flowers, I have to make it fit where I left the space. So I left the space on that part. And I think this is going to be easier, because when I did the other one, I was trying to be way too fancy with it. Okay, so now we're going to do the loops on the bottom. This is kind of therapeutic to do it like this. Very relaxing. These little loopy things. Okay, got them all the way around. All right, I'm going to put some more wax in this, and now we're going to work on the basket part. And actually, I will go ahead and keep my fine for right now. I'm going to use my fine, and I'm going to draw this line all the way around. I'm going to draw the lines that go all the way around like this first. And if your leaf or flower went down into this one, you'll want to skip that. I did not do that with this. It didn't go past that line. Okay, now we're going to do this one. And this one, and then we'll do the last one. And then we're going to draw the lines that come down. So they're going to go like this, and they're just going to meet at the bottom. They're going to be thicker in part of it and skinnier down toward the bottom. And you see, now there's the flower, so I'm kind of skipping that part. It doesn't matter how many of these you have, as long as you have an even number. It has to be an even number of sections. So whether you have 16, 12, 8, doesn't matter as long as it's an even number. And then where I've drawn flowers, I'm going down a little bit below. So there we have that. Now we want to make it look like a basket. And this is one of the issues I ran into with this one was I didn't get enough contrast. So you can kind of see those lines in there. But I think actually for the lines inside, I'm going to switch to my my super duper fine one that I apparently dripped varnish all over. Fortunately, it did not go on the Kiska part. So I'm going to put some of this white wax in here. And I knew better than to hold the varnish can and have to go across where the Kiskas were. Okay, that was my fault. Okay. So hopefully you'll be able to see some of this wax. It might come out dark because there was some black wax in it for starters. So what you want to do, and you know what, let me draw it out first. It's real simple, but it just sometimes it helps to have a picture. So we'll just say this is this, and then these are your lines. So you're just gonna you're gonna draw like this, and then the next one you're gonna draw like that. And then down here, you're gonna draw like that, 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 that. And then what we're gonna do is we'll make those, all the ones that go like this, we're gonna make one color, and all the ones that go like that, we're gonna make another color. But for right now, we just wanna wax the lines. So what I do, I start and I do all of them going this way. And I'll skip that one. Now, there's a leaf there, so and mine are not touching. You can have them touch inside if you want. And I'm putting in 3. You can put in whatever number, however many lines you want. You can put in just 1 if you want. And then look, I did that right. I came around and it was correct. I would have been surprised if it hadn't been correct. And then again, I wouldn't have been surprised if it had been incorrect. I was trying to be careful, but while I'm doing this and talking, sometimes I'm not careful. Okay, so now this one's going to go here. So it's going to be there. And now I'm only getting 2 little lines in there. Again, whatever, if you only get 1 in there, that's okay. But you want at least 1. I guess if you're going to make them 2 different colors, you might not, you probably don't have to do these lines. I just think it makes it look more like a basket if you do. Yeah, I guess you could just skip this line part if you want. It's up to you. Okay, so we have all of them that are going that way. Now we're going to come back and we're going to do the ones that go this way. Oh, I missed the top row. Let me go back and do that. And the same thing, if however many you can fit in there, and then when you get to where you've got some elements, you just want to give yourself some space there. Okay. Now the second row, I'd already started. Where did I start it? Right there. Okay. You do want to make sure, you get them in all of them. So it's kind of nice to start and go around it. Then when you're back to the start. And the last one. I am not going to put any lines in the bottom here. I may just vary the colors, or I might just leave it brown. I haven't decided yet. But I have time to make that decision. Did I get them all? Nope, that one I didn't. I know it's kind of hard to see these fine lines, but okay. All right, so I now have all of the dark brown color on there. I know it looks odd here where there's the break, but that's where the flowers are going to go, and here. So the next step with this one is I'm actually going to wash it off, and I'm going to try to get a lighter brown and do some of it with that. I think I'm going to actually use the mushroom color for one, either the ones going this way or the ones going that way. I haven't decided, but I'm going to. But I'd like to get it down to a very, 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 very light brown. Let's see how well I do. You know, the other thing, and I didn't mention it until now, you could do this on a brown egg. You could do this on a very dark brown egg, draw these initial lines, and then etch it once for one of the colors, and then etch it again for the other color. You could do that too. That brown eggs would be fine for this. I just happen to dye this one brown because I don't have any really, really, really dark brown eggs. So this is what I decided to do for this one. And now I still have my one that I've drawn with the white, and I need to wax that one. So all of that is going to be waxed white the same way. I just didn't have anything going over the loop. I did put some flowers in there, but they're coming up behind the eggs. So I do need to wax all of that. I'm going to do it the same way as I did this one, and then we'll come back and start dyeing the eggs. I wanted to show you the one with the white before I dyed it. I again used the Luba's Electric with the fine for most of the lines, and in here I used my super duper fine there. I went ahead and I outlined all of the eggs, and on some of them I put a little bit of a pattern in it. I didn't put it on in all of them. I'm going to do that with other colors that I put on the egg, so they don't all have white lines. I'm thinking some will have yellow and some will have maybe light blue. And then I drew in these flowers too. And again, on this one, everything is like within the basket. So nothing's hanging over the edge like it will be here. So the next step, I'm going to wash this one, and I'm going to try and get it as light as I possibly can. And then with this one, I think I'm going to go ahead and start with yellow so I can put whatever I want in here design-wise. I'm not making these intricate Pysanky designs because there's not a lot of space, and it's not the whole egg. It's just, you're just seeing little bits of the egg. So this one's going in yellow. This one's getting washed. The egg has been washed. I actually did wash it a little bit. I didn't mean to put a little bit of the Dawn dish soap on it, but I did. And then I thought, well, I don't want it to go back to white, so I stopped. So the egg had a little bit of a color to it. Now it might look white. Well, it really doesn't look white. It looks like a very pale purplish brown. So what we're going to do now is cover, and I already started right here. So we're going to cover every other one. And so these will look like the stripes that are going this way. Now, here was where I had that flower. So I'm just going to kind of try to remember where the flower was, and I'll just kind of draw something like that. And then when I go to do the flower, I'll put it in. Like I said, I thought about it later that what I should have done was waxed just those areas, not waxed, put dye on the flowers in that with the micro brush and did the outline, but I didn't, so that's okay. We'll, I think I may do something like that after I do the next color in the basket. So what we're going to do is we're going to do all the colors on the basket first, and then we're going to take the egg back to white and work on the things that went in there, because all the flowers I drew, all of the eggs I drew, they're not there anymore. And that's why I don't spend a lot of time drawing them, because I'm going to wash them all off in this process. So we'll go all the way around, and then we'll go down to the second row, and I'm also doing all of these. So I'll do all of those, and I'm using my Luba's Electric with the medium tip, and I'll do those, and then these, okay, and then these. Oh, and then I will do down here at the bottom. I'll do that. Yeah, I'll do them at the bottom too, as best I can. Not real concerned about the bottom. So, like I said, I'm going to go around, and all of them where the lines are going this way, I am going to completely cover that with wax. Now, let me show you the other one that has the white lines. So this one has been dyed yellow, and there's not going to be any yellow in the basket. So this one I'm doing waxing in a different sequence. So there's not really a lot of yellow on this, although I always think that and think, oh, there's not a lot of this color, and it ends up I do put a lot of that color on there. So what is going to be yellow? Well, I am going to have some yellow in the eggs. So even though it's next to the white, I'm doing let's see, what do we want to do? Those went like that. So we want to do, oh, maybe we'll just do some stripes on this one. So anything I want to be yellow. And these eggs, I'm not, as I said before, I'm not putting an intricate pattern on them. You could put one or two big eggs in here and put intricate patterns. It's just not what I'm doing. Let's make some big circles here. And I'm using my Luba's Electric with the fine. So you kind of get the idea. So I'm going to put some more designs on here with that I want to stay yellow. Let's see, maybe I'll do something right here. Oh, that's a bad spot. It's next to all that white. Oh well, I already did it. Okay. And then I think I'm going to put some lines in the leaves. My tulips kind of like that. And then I'm going to use a micro brush and do some of the colors on these that I can do over the yellow. And then I'm trying to decide, I haven't completely decided yet what color I'm going to do the basket. I want to do it in two different colors of, I haven't decided yet. Okay. I will. I have to. Okay. So I'm going to keep working on these and we'll be back and show some more of the progress. This has been dyed in the Pysanky USA mushroom, and it's such a beautiful color. I was originally thinking about doing this and this in a different color, but I love this so much. I'm going to do it in that color too. So we're going to finish up the basket. And again, using my Luba's Electric with the medium tip and filling it with wax. There we go. Okay. And we're gonna cover all the areas here. So now I'm doing the areas that go this way. I'll fill in all of that, all down here at the bottom, and then I am also going to fill in all of this. Now, if you wanted this to be a different color, you would obviously wait until it is the color that you want it to be. And I debated about making this maybe a lighter shade of the mushroom, and I just thought, you know what, I like the way this mushroom color looks. And then I'll do this all the way up here too. All right, I have a lot of waxing to do here. I will get that done. And then in the meantime, I have started to spot dye some of the areas. I'm not going to do the whole egg like this, but some of them where I can do colors on top of the yellow, I'm going to do that now. So this is the Ukrainian Gift Shop light green, and my micro brush. I'm just, barely dipping it in there, and then I'm painting it in these areas. So I just want this to be a solid color. And I have found that these micro brushes give me more control than a paintbrush. I use a paintbrush when I'm trying to blend colors. But I really like these micro brushes. They're not micro brushes. It's like a dental. I call it a micro brush. It's actually like a dental tool, I think. I bought a pack. There were 500 in the package I bought. I have them for life because I reuse them. You know, I have this little thing here full of them with different colors because it's like, well, you know, I could use that again. They were really cheap, but I guess I'm cheaper. So I'm going to put some green in the leaves. I may put some colors in some of the eggs too. I'm not going to do anything with the basket just yet because for one thing, I wasn't really going to put green in the basket. So I will think about what colors I want some of these eggs to be. Really didn't want the green color of the leaves to be also in the eggs. I wanted it to be a different color or maybe a different shade of green. So this does take a little while to go and paint these in. But if you're looking for specific colors, it's a great way to do that. Okay. I have some work to do. We'll be back and show you what I've gotten done. So here is the first one. And all of the flowers and eggs that I drew on it before are now gone because I've washed it back to the white. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to draw these lighter because I don't want these lines to show up at the end, but I'm going to redraw my flowers. I don't remember exactly where they were, so I'll just make it up. I think I had I'm going to put a leaf here. So that's going to be a leaf that's going to go like that. And then I'll put a flower here. So it really doesn't matter how I draw it, as long as where I have these swoopy spots, where I have the spot where I left it out, I need to put something in there. Oh, that was a little high. I don't want to do that. Let's do this one lower. So I just want to make sure that I have stuff around it. Now let's put one egg there, big one here. Maybe we'll just put another flower here that'll be kind of behind that one. I can change it now because, all right, so there's that side, and I have to figure out, I'll draw this one in. And then the other one, I have dyed it gold. So this is the gold, Pysanky, Ukrainian gift shop gold over the top of yellow. So it's a little more even when it's done like this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to, every other one of these, I'm going to do as gold, and every other one of these. So the handle and this part around the top, my goal is that it'll look like two different colors mixed together. And normally I would not put yellow next to white, but this is gold. It's a deeper color. I'm going to give it a shot and see what happens. So I'm going to draw these out, wax that, and then what I'm going to do with these, the flowers, I'm going to take some, maybe we'll make, oh no, I can't do that. I am going to take my micro brush and I'm going to kind of outline where the flowers are. And I'm going to do those first. Well, actually, I might outline the eggs. I'm not sure, but I'm going to put on some color with the micro brush first. And then I will, I'll do the outlining, because I was going to outline it all in white, but I think I've changed my mind because this one's outlined in white. I think I'm going to outline this one in a darker version of so this flower, I think I'm going to have be orange. So I'm going to outline it in a very dark orange, and then the inner petals will be a lighter color orange, and we'll get to that. So that's what I need to do, and I'll be back and show you the progress. So I've drawn on some of these, and now what I'm going to do, I've got my micro brush. This is the Pysanky USA Carrot Dye. This is the darkest orange I have. And so I'm going to completely cover the area that I want to be orange. And I'm going to maybe go a little bit beyond it because I changed my mind on what I want the flowers to look like. I drew some flowers, but I've changed my mind. And again, the main thing is where I have these spaces down here, I need to make sure that I leave, that I cover it with color, because this is where the flowers are going over the top of the basket. So there's one set. Okay, and now, I put one up here, didn't I? Okay. And I'm not worried too much about staying in the line, and I'm even going over a little bit where I drew an egg, because this will get washed off. I'm going to do the flowers first, and then I'm going to come back and do the eggs, and you'll see what I've decided to do. I think this will be fun. I'm looking forward to this. I'm very excited about how this one is going to turn out. And I will let this dry, and if I need to, I will give it another coat with the orange. Because I want this, again, this is going to be, I might have another shade of orange. I might do something different. We'll see what happens. I want to make sure I have plenty of space to work with here. Okay, so I've got all the orange on that. Everywhere I want orange. And now the other one, I did the gold where I wanted it to be. and then I washed it back. So now what I want to do is, as long as I have my orange out, some of the spots where I want orange, I'm going to put those on here. So I want that, and that. Oops. To be orange. And what else do I want to be orange? Oh, maybe I think I want this to be orange. And so what I will probably end up doing with this egg is I'm going to probably paint on quite a few of the colors with this. And then I will, do I want that orange? No, I don't think I do. Okay. So, and then I'll cover those areas with wax, and then I will paint on some more colors. And so this process, it just takes a while. It's easier for me to paint them on rather than dipping it and multiple rinsings. This is easier, especially when it's just going in some small areas. So a lot of work to do on this one. Gonna draw out my flowers on that one and work on the flowers, and then I'll do the eggs. All right, I'm excited. Oh, I'm getting so excited about these. All right, so this is the one where I started with the dark brown lines, and I have done, I outlined the flowers in the carrot that I put on with the micro brush, and then I put it in yellow, and then I put it just a little bit in gold just to get it a little deeper. And that's where I'm at now with these. So I'm going to fill in my flowers, and then I'm going to use the turquoise to paint in where the leaf is. So there's going to be a leaf, and that'll probably be 2 leaves. I might outline them in the gold. I don't know, I'll figure that out. So that's the next step on this one. And then on this one, I've painted in all of these different colors. So now I need to cover all of that with wax. And then what I'm going to do is I am going to dunk this in the Ukrainian Accessories Crown Purple. And all the rest of the basket, I'll wax. Then I'll wash it, and I'll do this little bit of this background color. I thought about doing the background color first and then just dunking it in the purple. I don't know. I'm gonna have to think about that. I think I'd rather, I know this is going to have a lot of wax on it, but that's just the way this egg is. I think I feel more comfortable with that. Okay, so I got some waxing to do on these, and I just used a variety of colors. This was kind of fun, and some of them, like on this one, I used the micro brush for all of it, but I put down some purple. I put down the raspberry, then I put the purple on it, and then I put the raspberry on it, and those are all Ukrainian gift shop colors. So I had a lot of fun just kind of playing around with it and getting different shades of colors. So got some waxing to do, and then I'll be back. I've waxed the flower part, and now I'm ready to do the leaf. The egg is currently Ukrainian gift shop gold, and this here is Ukrainian gift shop turquoise. I'm actually going to use the dye that's in the lid. And when you layer those colors, you get this beautiful, beautiful green that I'm going to put here. And put a little bit there, and maybe a little bit there. And I haven't decided if I'm going to put it here or not. So I'll go ahead and put some there. And so these are going to be the leaves when I get done. What I'm going to do is I'm going to outline them with this color. And then I will draw like a vein in it, maybe a little bit. And then I'll rinse it to do the inside of the flower. Because otherwise this here wouldn't look right. It needs to be more defined. So that's what I'm going to do there. And then on the other one, I've thought about this. Okay, I've waxed all the flowers, all the eggs, or all the flowers, all the eggs are waxed. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do the background color here. I want this to be a very, very, very light blue. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in the light blue. I'm just going to put it in and take it right back out. And then I'll have to wax all that. Then all the rest of the basket that's not waxed, I want to be a dark purple. So it's going to do the dark purple first and then do the background, but I'm going to try it this way and see what happens. Okay, I'll be back. I have made a mess out of this with all these colors, but here's where this one's at. I washed it off and I dyed it in the Ukrainian gift shop light blue. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to draw out where I want one of the eggs. So I think I want one of the eggs right here. And I am just going to draw it with wax and completely fill it in. I'm not going to put any designs on it. And I think this one I will put right here like that. And then I'm going to dye it in a darker blue, the royal blue, and do another egg that will be like behind the flowers and that, and it'll be behind that flower and that. And then I'm going to wash it off. I might go with a very, very, very light blue background like I did with this. So this was just dunking it in the very, very light blue. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to wax all of the area. And up here, I can't get it to take the dye. I'm just going to embrace that. I'm going to wax that. And then this will go in the Ukrainian accessories crown purple. All right. Got some waxing to do. Okay, here's our first one. I have 2 eggs that are different shades of blue, and I kind of rinsed it off. I got this light blue background, so I think I like that, and ready to take the wax off of this one. And here's the one where I put it in the crown purple. It wasn't quite dark enough, so I put it in Ukrainian gift shop pink, and then I put it back in the crown purple, and it's a darker shade now that I like. So this one is also ready to have the wax taken off. I'm just going to take these off of here. There is a lot of wax on these. So I will be back and show you what they look like without the wax on. I'm so excited, Lori. I hope you're excited. We'll see what happens. Oh, here is the final eggs, and they turned out so great. I just love them. So I wanted to go with the sunflowers. Right now, when I'm in my studio and looking out my window, I see beautiful sunflowers. I'll put a picture of that up. But so I thought, you know what? I'm going to do like a fall basket, and this is the spring basket. And they both turned out super cute. Anyway, thank you again, Lori, for the suggestion. And I hope this helps. Hope it's what you wanted to see. And thank you very much for watching. And I'll see you again next week. Have a blessed day.